It's finally nice to stand up here and to be able to tell some of my old teachers to sit down and shut up. Been waiting a long time for that. First, let me take you to just 4 weeks ago as I was riding on a plane bound for Indianapolis to play in one of the biggest games of my professional career. And what came to mind wasn't much of a surprise. I think all those moments leading up to that game become so meaningful because the opportunity to play in another Super Bowl was something that so few people in my profession get to experience, even once. It was my 5th time, and I was there to relish it. So for me, I spent a lot of time reflecting on the things that I valued most in my life, along with the things that had happened over the course of my academic and athletic career that led me to that point. And as I first learned here, football, and life for that matter, is about competition. And I took my first ever reps here for the freshman football team in 1991. And I competed with my friend Kevin Kristofiak, who's here, to be the quarterback. And I lost the competition. But I was excited to be a part of the team anyway. And as a 14-year-old boy, I realized how much I loved the game. And just as importantly, I enjoyed the practice and the preparation, working to improve, and I realized how much improvement I needed to make in order to continue playing past high school. So I worked and I studied and I listened and I practiced, and by my senior year, I was playing well enough to be recruited by a few Division I schools. And after an intense recruiting process, I chose Michigan. I took my first steps onto that playing field in college as a 7th quarterback. But it was pretty clear it wasn't going to happen overnight. So there were over 120 practices my first year, not to mention the hundreds of hours of meetings we had in order to prepare us to play Big Ten competition. And it all seemed to pay off when I first got my chance to play. And I was so excited. I had all my friends from home watching, maybe some of you. My parents were in the crowd. We were ahead with a huge lead against UCLA. I was put into the game in the 4th quarter, and the coach called my favorite pass play. So I dropped back, trying to impress the coach. I looked off the safety a little bit, and I fired the ball right over the middle of the field. I hit the player right in stride, right between the numbers, and he ran 45 yards for a touchdown. No one touched him. Just as I had dreamed. The crowd erupted. I was horrified. That was UCLA's only points of the game. A 45-yard interception return for a touchdown. Welcome to college football. I wasn't sure my coach would ever put me in again. But we all have experiences that we dream about and that we look forward to. And when we get them, they don't always go our way. I learned that as a freshman on the football field just outside of this gym. And again, I learned it as a second-year player who finally got a chance to play in college. Unfortunately, I learned it 3 weeks ago in our loss to the Giants in Super Bowl 46. The owner of my current team, Robert Kraft, has told me time and time again, every bump is a bounce. So when I learned very quickly as a professional was that your job is always on the line. I'm in a what have you done for me lately type business. As in all businesses, there are disclosures. In investments, it says past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Well, that pretty much sums up the NFL. And there are always going to be younger and hungrier athletes competing to take your spot. I got my opportunity when incumbent starter Drew Bledsoe got injured my 2nd year. And all of the practices and meetings and time spent on these fields and in this gym and in those classrooms prepared me to take advantage of the opportunity. And 10 years later, after great success in my career, I wouldn't change a day in my life. I'm blessed with 2 beautiful sons, a loving wife, a career that you could only dream of, and a family and friends that I've shared each and every one of those experiences with. And all that began here under this roof, and I'm forever grateful for that. So thank you once again for allowing me to be here as a part of this night, and thank you for your unwavering support in my career. And I look forward to the growth of our great school and the many young boys that will become men after their 4 years walking these hallways. Thank you.